Hey there, welcome back to the Blissful Biz podcast. Today, I want to give you a real behind the scenes look at how I managed to create, publish, and promote my weekly content in just 4 hours a week without a big team, without working late nights, and without sacrificing the rest of my business. If you've been following me for a while, you know I've been doing this content thing for years. Years. I've tried all kind of approaches from batching a month of content in 1 week, outsourcing a lot of things, trying to post daily on social media. And I've learned that for me, the simpler it is, the more consistent I am. Right now, I'm in the season of being a solopreneur again. I used to have a VA, a podcast editor, a support coach, but at the moment, right now, it's just me. And honestly, with the help of AI, it's amazing to me how much I get done. I know I'll hire again soon to free up some extra hours in my week, but for now, the system works beautifully and it could work for you too. So let's break down exactly how I create a week's worth of content in about 4 hours and still keep my sanity. I'm Susanne Reicher, digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience, turned yoga teacher, turned six-figure online business owner. 10 years ago, I flew to Bali for a yoga teacher training, fell in love with the island, and decided to build an online business so I could live there. Can't be that hard, right? That decision launched me into an adventure bigger than I'd ever imagined. Over the last 8 years, I've guided over 1,000 yoga teachers and hard-led coaches how to launch and sell their digital offers, build their brand and websites, and build a profitable online business. In this podcast, I share real proven strategies and the exact steps that work. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, we'll dive into everything from creating offers your students can't resist to making digital marketing work for you. If you're ready to build a business that brings both freedom and success, you are in the right place. The first thing that makes my 4 hour content week possible is having a simple, repeatable system. I use a project management tool called Asana, like the yoga pose thing, Asana, Asana, to plan and organize everything. If you've never used it, Asana is basically digital to-do list on steroids. You can create tasks, projects, set deadlines, add subtasks, and keep everything in one place. So you're not juggling sticky notes, random Google Docs, and mental reminders. And the best thing is, they have a free plan. I use the free plan, and it's amazing. So it's not an extra expense. Try it out. So in Asana, I have a project called Podcast Content Plan. It's set up as a board, and every single podcast episode is its own task. And inside that task, I have the exact same subtasks every week. Script the episode, record the episode, publish the episode, create the blog post, set up the newsletter, and share on social media. It's simple, but it means I never have to try to remember things. I don't wonder, what do I need to do for this episode? It's all right there, and I just follow the list. I also use Asana to store my ideas for future episodes. Anytime I think of a topic, whether I'm like going on a walk or just like scrolling through Instagram or answering a student's question, I drop it in my idea section so it's there when I need it. And once a month, I set aside a little CEO time to plan the episodes for the upcoming weeks. I look at what I'm promoting or selling during that time, and I make sure my episodes are aligned with that. I also think about variety. I use the content categories I teach inside my Flow program: educational content, emotional content, and validating content. That way, I'm not just churning out the same type of post or episode over and over, but I'm creating a balanced mix that serves my audience in different ways. This monthly planning means that when Monday rolls around, I'm not sitting there thinking, what should I record today? What should I post on Instagram this week? The decision has already been made. All I have to do is create. And that, more than anything, keeps me consistent. Every Monday is my content day. That's when I'm in creation mode. I start by scripting and recording my podcast episode. That normally takes me 1, maybe 2 hours, normally around 1 hour. And yes, even with AI helping me outline or expand ideas, there's still a lot of manual input. So when it comes to creating my weekly content, ChatGPT has become a bit like my creative co-pilot. So here's how it usually works. I start by sharing some ramblings, my messy, unfiltered thoughts on the topic I want to cover. So sometimes it's just bullet points, sometimes it's a rough story I want to tell, sometimes it's an audio that recorded on a walk in ChatGPT. And sometimes it's already half a script that I haven't quite figured out yet. From there, ChatGPT takes what I've given and creates a first version. It's not perfect and it's not meant to be. That first draft is just to get the bones of the episode or post in place. Then I go through it section by section. I'll add more detail where something feels thin. I swap out phrases that don't sound like me, and I make sure the flow feels natural. Shadi and I often go back and forth like this several times. I'll ask ChatGPT to expand certain points, restructure sections, or add examples. And each round gets us closer to something that really feels like my true voice, but without me having to start from a blank page. By the end, I have a Polish script that is still genuinely mine, but the process of getting there is so much faster, smoother, and way less overwhelming. And next, I record the episode. So I keep it simple with my setup. I use my computer, obviously, my MacBook. I use a Blue Yeti microphone that I've had for years. Honestly, I think there are better mics out there now, but this one still does the job. It's still working. Behind the mic, I've got this little foam sound shield. It's black, it's ugly. I'm not even sure what the official name is, but it helps me improve the sound, I think, a little bit. So I'm recording in my living room, which is a fairly big room. The audio isn't 100% studio perfect, but I'm not about to move my whole computer setup into a closet for better acoustics. My desk is where I work, it's where I record, and it works well enough for me. For recording and editing, I use a tool called Descript, Descript, and I love it. I really do. I create a new project, so just audio, because right now I'm not doing video versions of the podcast. I tried it, but honestly, for me, it's just adding complications, and suddenly I'm worrying about my hair and makeup and the lighting. And I just don't want to deal with that right now. I want to keep things really simple. For me, that's audio. It keeps me focused on what I want to say. I know video could be great. And if you don't feel it's complicating things for you, quick pause, just a short interruption to share something I think you're going to love. If you've been dreaming of building an online business that gives you more freedom, more time freedom, more location freedom, and more ease in your day-to-day, I have something special for you. It's my free on-demand training called How to Create and Launch Your Signature Online Program and Create Consistent 5K months and beyond. Inside this 50-minute masterclass, I'm walking you step by step through the exact framework I use to build a sustainable six-figure business from my online programs. And honestly, I think this is one of the best masterclasses I've ever put together. People are already raving about how valuable and eye-opening it is. And I keep hearing how much clarity it's given them to finally move forward with confidence. This isn't about chasing trends or working harder. It's about designing a business that actually supports your life with aligned offers, simple marketing strategies, and a system that helps you earn consistently so you can focus on the work you love. Whether you're still figuring out what to teach, you've launched something that didn't sell the way you hoped, or you're simply craving a clearer path forward to build your online business, this masterclass will show you exactly what's working right now and how you can create steady income doing work that feels meaningful. And truly, if you've been listening to this podcast and wondering, how do I actually put all of this into action? This is the best place to start. You can save your spot and watch it right away for free at susannereiker.com/masterclass. That's SUSANNEREIKER.com/masterclass. I'd love to see you inside and help you build something that feels sustainable and aligned. All right, let's get back to today's episode. Yes, I would definitely recommend you try recording your scripts also on video. But for me, right now it's audio, and this is what works. What's amazing about Descript is how easy it makes editing. It automatically creates a transcript of what I've said, so I can literally delete words or sentences in the text and they disappear from the audio. I go through and I remove filler words like or like. And if I make a mistake while recording, I just pause for a few seconds and then start again. And later I can spot those pauses in the transcript and quickly delete the section where I messed up. So once I've edited the episode, I run it through their studio sound feature. It's like one of their AI tools. It's amazing. And that cleans it up a bit more and really improves the audio. Then I add my pre-recorded intro and outro. It has some background music. I recorded this one time and I keep them saved as separate audio files. I directly add them into the project. Finally, I export the finished episode as an MP3, and that's it. And this really, the editing part takes me probably 10 minutes or less, depending on the length of the episode. It's really simple. It's so efficient. And yes, as I said, it takes me 1.5 hours probably on Monday. And after that, I switch over to my social media content for the week. So I open a document and start writing captions. My goal is between 3 and 5 posts per week. I'm not obsessed with posting every day. I'd rather focus on quality and consistency over quantity. But yes, sometimes I still think maybe I should be more detailed here. Maybe I should do more. Maybe I should really check my Instagram insights every week and figure out the exact best times to post and optimize all the things. And, maybe one day I will. But the truth is, Instagram isn't where I put my highest priorities right now. I am busy. And this approach still keeps me visible without burning me out. And when it comes to hiring, so I know a lot of people who actually start hiring and then the first hire they make is someone to help them with social media, with Instagram posts. And I have mixed feelings about that. I think if you invest in a team member, it could be a VA, a virtual assistant, if he or she has some expertise that you don't have. for example, create landing pages, etc. So that can be really helpful and save you a lot of time. But what I really invested in was supporting my students, a support coach, a copy coach. And then I would probably invest in support with sales. Because that's really what's moving the needle in your business. Not trying to show up perfectly on Instagram when you don't even have profitable offers yet. Set your priorities. And for me, weekly content is a priority. Showing up on Instagram is important for me too, but without the overwhelm. And this approach keeps me visible without burning me out. In total, Monday is usually around 3 hours of work, and I can't overstate how much I love having a dedicated creation day. There's something about knowing I have a set time for creativity that makes it easier to get into flow. On Mondays, I don't have meetings, I don't have client calls or like calls with my students. I don't have anything in my calendar on Mondays, and I can really focus on creation, on my own flow, basically. So I'm not trying to be strategic or organized on Monday. I'm just creating. And for me, I love that because it allows me to really flow easily into my week. On Tuesday, I switch gears. So this is my organizing structure, get it out into the workday. I start by publishing the podcast episode. I use Buzzsprout as my podcast hosting platform, and it's super simple to upload my MP3 file, add the title and the show notes, and schedule it to go live. Buzzsprout automatically pushes the episode out to all the major podcast apps like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so I don't have to manually upload anywhere else. I don't think you can even do that. I think you always need some kind of hosting tool platform for your podcast. Next, I create the blog post version of the episodes, send out the newsletter, and prepare my social media posts and Pinterest pins. And this is where ChatGPT comes in again. I use it to write my show notes, the blog post, my newsletter, Pinterest pin headlines and descriptions, and my social media captions, all based on the script for that week's episode. I keep everything for that week in a single chat, so I can go back and forth easily, and it remembers, right, what I wrote or shared, and it works really well. And of course, there's always some editing and manual input on my side. I take out too many M dashes, and always, like I said before, I have to remind Chatty not to use those short, punchy sentences it loves in triples. But honestly, it's getting better and better, and it's so fast. It saves so much time. What used to take me or my VA hours now takes minutes. Once I've got my drafts, I put the final touches on them, and then I publish and schedule. So I don't use a scheduling tool for social media. I simply schedule directly in Instagram and Pinterest. Instagram's built-in scheduling works fine for my needs, and for Pinterest, I just upload and schedule the pins right in the platform. All of this takes about an hour. I've actually timed it, and yes, I can get it all done in 60 minutes. Now, of course, I'll be honest, if I let myself start scrolling Instagram or just checking Pinterest or play around with a reel, it can take longer. But that's okay. The beauty is it's still a short, focused block of work. This 2-day split, so that I create content on Monday and then I publish and repurpose on Tuesday, originally started when I had a VA. Sometimes I wouldn't record until Monday afternoon or evening, so publishing on Tuesday gave her the full day basically to handle the rest. But I've kept that rhythm because it still works for me now. And here's why I think why. Monday is all creativity, Tuesday is all structure, different mindsets, different energy. And when you're a solopreneur, protecting your mental energy is just as important as protecting your time. Now, you might listen to this and think, oh my God, I could never do this. And I know creating content every week can sound like a lot. And when you still have a full-time job, or you have kids and you really only have a few hours each week, you might want to simplify things for sure. But there are real lasting benefits to committing to a rhythm like this. First, there's consistency. Google loves it, Instagram loves it, and more importantly, your audience loves it. When you show up regularly, people learn they can trust you to keep showing up. Weekly content also gives you a rhythm. It becomes part of your routine, not something you're scrambling to squeeze in when you have time. And when you have a rhythm, it's easier to keep going, even when life gets busy. Then there's the simple fact that you need content if you want to grow your business and get leads. There's no way around it. Without it, people simply won't know you exist. Content is the bridge between you and the people who need what you offer. It's how people discover you through a blog post that answers their question, a podcast episode that inspires them, or a pin on Pinterest that leads them to your freebie. It's often the very first touch point in their journey with you. For me, my blog posts get found on Google and Pinterest years after I publish them. Years. I'll check my analytics and I see traffic coming in from something I wrote 3 or 4 years ago or even before that. Sometimes even older. That's the power of longevity. Unlike a single Instagram story that disappears in 24 hours or a reel that might get a quick burst of views and then fade away, a well-crafted blog post, YouTube video, or podcast episode can keep working for you over and over again. I like to think of it like planting seeds in a garden. The first day you plant them, nothing much happens. But over time, they grow, they spread, and before you know it, you've got this whole content ecosystem feeding you. Every time someone finds your content, they are stepping into that ecosystem, getting to know you, connecting with your message, and taking the first step toward working with you. And the beautiful thing is that content doesn't just live in one place. A podcast episode can be turned into a blog post, which can be pinned on Pinterest, which then gets found by someone searching on Google who joins your email list, and maybe months later becomes a paying client. It's a ripple effect that keeps going long after you hit publish. Content is how people discover you and how you build trust and connection. It's how people learn from you and start to see you as the expert, as the authority, and then eventually decide they want to work with you. And speaking of building content that actually works for you, I want to quickly tell you that doors to Flow are open right now. Flow is my complete step-by-step course that helps you create a magnetic content system using my content alchemy framework. The exact system I just explained to you and that I use in my business to spend just 4 hours a week creating content that grows my audience and sells my offers on autopilot. So if you've been showing up online and sharing from the heart, but it's not translating into sales, this is for you. Inside Flow, you learn how to create a clear, focused content strategy that aligns with your offers and your energy. Produce long-form content like blog posts or podcasts that build trust and connection. Repurpose that content into emails, social media, and more without starting from scratch. And build a simple funnel that turns your content into clients without pushy sales tactics. I just added some amazing new bonuses like the 4-week visibility content planner and a brand new training how to create a lead magnet. And starting in September, we're going to have a weekly feedback thread inside my student-only community where you can share content and I'll give you feedback. It's going to be amazing. If you're ready to stop guessing, stop chasing trends, and start creating content that actually works for you, I'd love to welcome you inside Flow. And you can get all the details and join us if you go to my website, susannereike.com/flow. or click the link in the show notes. Now, if you've been struggling to keep up with content creation, let's sum it up, right? Here's where I would start. First, pick one long-form format, like a podcast or YouTube videos or blog posts. Then map out your exact workflow. So write down every step from idea to publishing. Batch your work by energy. So keep creative tasks together and admin tasks together. Give yourself limits. You'll be amazed what you can do in an hour if you decide that's all the time you have, especially when we are beginners or just starting something new. So often we spend way too much time on a task because time is basically all we have. And before you know it, you spend 8 hours on a blog post, and that's simply not efficient. So instead, set yourself a deadline, a limit. And finally, use tools that keep you on track, whether that's Asana, Trello, a simple Google Doc, some way to plan your content strategy and your episodes and the full process. And remember, you don't have to post every day. You don't have to be on every platform. Start with a manageable, repeatable system and stick to it. So that's my 4-hour content week, 2 days, 4 hours. And my weekly content is done. It's not fancy, it's not complicated, but it works. If this episode was helpful, I'd love for you to share it with a friend who's feeling overwhelmed by content creation right now. And if you try this 2-day split for yourself, let me know how it goes. I'm always curious to hear how other solopreneurs make content work for them. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Blissful Biz podcast. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you hit subscribe and left a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other yoga teachers and coaches find these strategies too, and it would mean the world to me. It really makes a difference. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website, susannereiker.com, where you'll find my free resources, latest blog posts, and all the ways we can work together to grow your online business. Until next week, keep building your blissful biz.